The Raptors lose a tough one to the Memphis Grizzlies, 119-106. Live from Real Sports, welcome to Raptors Tonight. I'm Randy Urban, joined by Eric Smith, Alvin Williams, and Sherman Hamilton. All right, guys, let's get right into it. E, where did you see things go wrong tonight?
Where do you want to start?
Well, that's what I'm asking you.
I think early on, first quarter, I think it was pretty clear that Steven Adams and his dominance in the paint, especially on the glass, on the offensive rebound especially, that was a major factor, a major issue. And, I mean, listen, again, I could probably pick 2 or 3 or 4 things, but the second one I would say is the lack of shot making overall. I thought Toronto had a number of decent looks in the early going, and yet again, kind of missing shots, missing open looks, plaguing them, and it just spirals from there.
Yeah.
You know, you give up offensive rebounds, you get up defensive rebounds, and suddenly the team starts rolling, the opposition that is, and you're buried early.
What did you see from your vantage point were the main issues?
I think, E touched on a bunch of them, but I think at the end of the day, it's like one team is better than the other team right now. Like, you're going to have a winner and a loser. You have one team aspiring to be a championship team in the West, that's their expectation. You have another team figuring it out a little bit, and I think that's basically what it was. Both teams were struggling up until this point. Both teams were struggling shooting the basketball, but the Memphis Grizzlies just came out. They were physical. They got a dynamic player that could push the tempo. So it's going to give you different looks. And I think just ultimately it's just one of those games. You can't really fault the Raptors with a depleted roster. Once again, no excuses, but Memphis Grizzlies played a high-level basketball game tonight. You have to give them all the credit.
Great defense, Sherman, on their part.
Yeah, they played good defense. The Raptors had some shots that they just flat out missed, but the Grizzlies are a physical team.
Yep.
Perimeter to the front line. They play physical basketball. And, you don't have all your guns with you to fight that battle. The other issue is we've seen this consistently, and it's really emphasized when you have the kind of star power like Ja Morant in the situation. They have really struggled to keep the ball in front of them. And when you have players like Ja Morant who are going to get into your paint regardless of what you do, it just accentuates the fact that you're having to adjust too much on the fly. You can't really be a consistent defensive team when you're constantly being broken down off the dribble, and it opens up your rebounding, as Eric and Alvin talked about. And then overall, when you can't make shots on top of it, you can't keep up offensively, and you can't get stops consistently defensively, it becomes an uphill battle, and it can be very, very stressful on the energy side of the game.
Look,
But one thing too, right? In the NBA, it's not hard. It's hard to make adjustments in a regular season because it's game after game after game. In the playoffs, you start seeing the adjustments being made. But it's something where I'm looking at the Raptors and their defense and not being able to contain the basketball. You can tell they try to pressure the ball. Whereas some personnel out there, that pressuring the ball, that gives them straight line drives.
Yeah.
Ja Morant, to me, is a good opportunity to start going under, meeting, before he gets downhill. Not to question the coaching scheme, because I understand it's hard. You got to get a philosophy and you got to get perfect or try to be perfect at it. But there's some games and some situations where you look at the personnel and say, you know what, we're going to invite Ja to shoot the J and keep him out of his sweet spot. So some of those things needs to be done, I think, also.
Yeah, and to that point, there were multiple times in the game where I'm watching Coach Nick Nurse, and he was pretty beside himself at times for just some missed defensive assignments. And I'm not saying that these were hard assignments. This is just running back and not letting Steven Adams beat you down the floor. That's frustrating.
But that's hard. I'm sorry.
No, take it.
That's hard because
It is.
floor balance comes from offense. And if you have an offense where it's not set, you have, I pass you the ball and you shoot it.
Yeah.
Eric may think I got a shot. Now he's not getting back.
Right.
Sure, so when you got
I definitely have a shot.
you know what I mean?
Sure, shoot.
I have a shot.
Shooting the ball, we know that.
Whether you have it or
Pass
don't have
fake,
it.
I'm shooting it.
And that's what I'm saying. And so it's offensively, especially when you don't have your roster and you have certain players out there in different roles, it's hard to necessarily, some defensive assignments are just from offense. And sometimes it's just effort, and sometimes it's not always a scheme.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. It's not that easy.
To that point, I wonder how much too, and I hate harping on the injuries, But even Nick said it before the game. He was saying the way we prepped yesterday was different than what we woke up with today. Now, I'm assuming he was meaning Fred VanVleet. Unless he was implying that he thought that he would have Precious Achiuwa back tonight, I'm assuming he thought that he would have Fred. So now all of a sudden you go into the game, suddenly Fred's not available. Everything you worked on in practice and that you thought you had was out the door. And I wonder, Randy, at times, guys, when you get on the floor, not that they don't know each other, not that they don't work on a lot of other things in practice, etc., but when the rotation is now changed, the starters have changed, that's changing who's coming off the bench, that's changing who's on the floor. Do I know that when I steer a guy left or right, or when I send a guy this way, that I'm going to have somebody in the back door that's got my back? Is he going to be as dialed in, as glued in as I was? And is the trust factor there to make the right defensive play the way that I know it should be run, because maybe this guy doesn't know the play as well or isn't as in sync, in synergy with me? And I think the trickle-down effect ultimately happens.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question to
Yeah.
you guys, and you guys would know? I'm thinking back to, like, as far as DeMar and as far as when he was younger and the Raptors start having, like, the consistent success, getting to the playoffs and getting past the first round, second round, getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. It seems like the best players, and for the most part, they were healthy. Like, it didn't seem like a lot of guys missed a lot of games where, you know, even the championship year, Kawhi, but that was kind of like scheduled, that was understood. But the best players, their roster didn't change much. It wasn't a lot of change in the starting lineup or whatever the case may be. Is that different, or is that something I'm thinking too much about, or is that a reality of what actually happened when they were successful mostly?
I think it's close to a reality. I mean, DeMar had a groin injury one year, missed an extended period, but other than that, he was pretty durable, right?
Yeah.
Kai was pretty durable over his time. Like, tonight was the 18th different starting lineup the Raptors have had. And I've said this a bunch of times. I don't know, Randy, if I said it on this show. I still think the best starting five for this team, the best starting five is VanVleet, Anunoby, Siakam, Barnes, and Achiuwa. They have yet to play one game together.
Right.
So they have 18 different starting lineups, and that five has not played one game together.
Yeah.
So I
mean,
think
with nobody gonna sit there and challenge, I guess, or challenge or whatever, who he thinks the best starting five. I mean,
Well, who do you think is
I
the
mean, that's not my job. I'm not gonna sit there and have.
I like
somebody
that
do
but
it.
I'm
starting
saying I
five.
think it's the best, but they haven't even had an opportunity out to play
Somebody
it.
might disagree with you. Eh?
Who?
I'm just saying.
Who?
Sure,
Stevie
who-
Wonder. Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder. What are you talking? What?
Stevie might wonder.
Sherman, is that the best starting five?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not looking at it from that perspective. I'm saying that Fred VanVleet,
Yes.
at the point of attack, both offensively and defensively, is vitally important, especially when you have a point guard like John Morant. It's not like anybody on the Raptors one-on-one is going to stay in front of him, but you have to have a plan of attack. And
Yeah.
to Nick Nurse's point, with Fred at the point of attack, he can orchestrate a lot of things early, because with Ja, you got to hit him early. If you wait and allow him to get downhill, if he gets under the three-point line with a full head of steam, good luck. It's over.
Yeah.
But, you know, veering off, being able to make contact, keeping him from going on a straight line, making him go east-west a little bit to get moving. All those things I think Fred could be a part of. And then your team can build in behind you. But the way he was attacking tonight, especially in the third quarter, it was too much.
His
Right.
body control is crazy.
Yeah, no,
Like,
he's
is there
a freak.
somebody that, like,
Nobody.
There's nobody that he reminds you of when you played, right? Like,
No.
Is he different?
No, he's a mixture of a lot of people. Like, a lot of people say Allen Iverson. And I got a chance to talk to Brevin Knight tonight, you know, who does the broadcast for the Grizzlies. And he was saying he's a hooper. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, he can walk in the gym, don't stretch, and play. Like all that stuff where you see guys
That is
working
some
out.
Allen Iverson stuff.
Yeah, Allen Iverson is that guy, right? But then you talk about athleticism. Allen Iverson was very athletic. When you talk about that type of athleticism, that's Derrick Rose, Steve Francis,
Yeah.
like those type of guys. And then, to his credit, he had 17 assists tonight.
Yeah.
So now he's facilitating, he's reading, he's doing, so he's just growing at a level where, like, all you want him to be is healthy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I was going to ask a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I forgot the question.
You want to
but
host?
it comes like
What is happening?
No. I remembered it. So you
Oh, and it just came back to you?
When you get to my age, you got to let people know I forgot.
That's right, Al.
But I'm saying
Not there yet.
When you have an offense that's not playing that well or scoring a lot, and you have a team or like a John Morant that want to get up and down, I think it's a perfect opportunity to slow it down a bit, right? And not take the first shot, not hunt for the first shot. Be more deliberate. If they're switching, try to get some switches. Try to get somebody that Ja Morant has to guard, put them in a post, or get an isolation or whatever, opposed to pass, swing, shot, right? Because the shots aren't going in, and you don't have the Fred VanVleet, you don't have everyone. So I think when you talk about strategizing, sometimes it's all right to say, you know what? It's not going to be who's going to get the most possessions, who's going to get the most efficient possessions, right? And just pretty much go at that point. And I don't want to question the coaches because I don't know what's going on there.
So let me ask you this, to that point, do you adjust that much for one game, or do you just kind of understand who you are in that game and try to continue to keep your principles and your philosophies in place?
Yeah.
Because you got to play tomorrow night,
Yeah,
and you don't want to have to adjust on every. And look, Ja's one of one. You know what I mean? You're not playing anyone else that's like Ja Morant. So, and their strengths are not necessarily Phoenix's strengths.
Right.
So you just kind of you're going through it, understanding. But I see what you're saying, but it's just that adjustment would have to happen too many times over the course of the season.
Oh, it doesn't. Because you look at the percentages, you look at the scoring, you look at all of these things, and it might not be the team that pass, you shoot, I shoot. It might be a team like, oh, Pascal, and I know that's not today's NBA.
That's
Mike D'Antoni, he changed that. But the offense is going to do Pascal, Fred, and OG. All the rest of you guys, when you're in it, this is what we're doing. Whatever, however that looks. But that's old school. Like I was saying today on the broadcast, I knew the first 3 plays, Vince Carter, Antonio, Vince Carter, right? Coming out of timeout, Antonio, Vince Carter, and then Mo Pete might sprinkle in there or something might happen. But that's old school. I understand that too, and it's just something I was just thinking about during the course of it.
Something I was thinking about is similar to what this guy wrote on the internet, watching our show, M. Jones. He wrote, okay, that's it. Time for Sherman and Alvin one-on-one to settle this beef. So this is something that people have been noticing that is brewing. So we brought a net in here.
Oh, look out.
And I think you guys should shoot for
I'm gonna tell you the real. And what's my man's name?
M. Jones.
M. Jones. I'm gonna tell you the real deal. And he let me know. You gonna let me know? You gonna let the world know?
There's nothing to let anybody know. I don't know what you're talking about.
My rookie year,
You're a rookie.
when I got traded there.
A long time ago.
You don't remember?
I forgot. I'm older than you.
I feel like this story's only been told once. I remember
Wait,
Sherman and I talked about
tell
this one time.
story?
We talked about this one time on the air.
No, you go ahead.
Tell
man.
the story.
I got a tight. I don't remember the story, but I'm gonna work.
Come on, you brought it up. Tell the story.
Bang.
Hey,
Oh,
Barry.
Bang.
On a
I shoot
laser.
that thing
On a
straight.
laser.
Barry said-
Shoot that thing like Kawhi. Straight.
All right.
Bang.
All right, Sherman, you got
And
that?
I got a tight suit.
Whoa, Chris, Mo with the pass.
I got a
What's
tight
up with
suit
that?
on.
You got to fix the mesh for the man, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you fouled me.
Oh, that's a
He did foul him. He did foul him. Yo, he's got one more.
We can't settle it when I'm being fouled on the
Yeah,
shot.
Hey man, I'm Dylan Brooks.
Did you lefty it?
Yeah, I leftied it. I
No, he
shot it
didn't.
just like that.
No, he didn't.
It's on camera. I can't lie.
Hey, Sherman, okay.
It's not settled.
Hey, me,
Back
how
over
we
to
do it.
Al. It's tied.
Are we glad we're not actually
not
doing this
set-
on a court?
this is, what would actually?
I
We'd
would
both
pass
be in
out.
hospital.
What would happen? What would
Passed
happen?
out.
If we were on the court?
On a court.
We'd both, well, I can speak for myself. I would be readily admitted to a hospital.
When you're in great shape, man. I see you in the hotel.
I would be
you know,
readily-
the chin-ups, the push-ups.
You know what running is and changing direction.
No, it's a different game.
Big dude too, bro.
Well, when you're running against a turtle, it doesn't. I'm a
And it's
turtle.
a big dude too.
You ever
can
seen a
just post
crippled
them
turtle?
You can just post them up.
No, that's a grown man right
He
there.
didn't finish the story.
Nah, I don't think he wants to tell it.
You don't want to tell a story.
It's not a
all
good
good.
story
We'll keep
anyway.
We'll keep that story.
Forget it again?
We're gonna keep that story for a later date.
Maybe for another time. Another time. All right, we got a couple
here?
of guests. Bring them in.
All right.
We got to do some rearranging. We got some special guests here tonight. All right, I'm
Making the
gonna wait
shift.
till they get here.
They're coming.
Did they even show the
We got Mike
Did you wanna go
Veerman,
Your shot,
yours?
man.
Max Kerman of the
It don't
Arkells
even
coming
matter.
in. We got another. You sure? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we got
Good.
in
Do
there.
I need to go more?
I'm getting in there.
Getting in here?
You guys are right in here.
Are we still live?
Yeah, we're live.
This is how we're doing
Live
it.
right now, Max.
We're live.
You want to sit beside Alvin?
Yeah,
Of course you would.
Hey man, let's do this.
All right, what are we talking about?
All right. Mike, first of all, tell us what you're doing here.
Well, we're just happy to be here. First
Okay,
of all,
all
Randy,
right.
thank you. Eric, Sherm, Alvin, big fan. I watched a
Thank
lot of
you.
your games
Thank
as,
you.
as a youth.
Tell the people about your podcast real quick.
Yeah, well, Max and myself, we have a podcast. We also have a television show called Mike on Much on Crave. We have a new show coming out on Crave called The Dessert Sketch Comedy Show. Max, I think you play music sometimes.
Yeah, my other job is playing in a band called Arkells. Nick Nurse is a sometimes band member. I wake up to voice notes from Nick, of him playing Bob Dylan in a hotel room. I wonder who on the Raptors staff is responsible for delivering the piano, the keyboard to Nick's hotel room every day on tour. I'm like, whoever got stuck with that job, it's got to be
tough.
real. It's like a roadie,
That's a tough
basically.
job.
At this point.
We still remember years ago, right? And I know, Sherm, you were there as well in Milwaukee when we came in during a playoff series. I can't remember if it was during the championship run in 2019 or if it was before that. I think it might have been before that, when we went in like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning or something, and upstairs in the upper hotel lobby in Milwaukee, piano was playing. We walked in, stumbling in from a bar, and we wander up, and who's sitting at the piano by himself in Milwaukee, but Nick Nurse just going away on the piano.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
that
when
was
Nick was an assistant.
Yep.
Nick was teaching me how to play the piano. I still have the sheet of music
Are you
that
kidding?
Oh yeah. He was teaching me how to play the piano.
Well, actually, Botch, assistant coach of the Raptors, he is childhood friends with our tour manager, and Nick has roped him into playing piano and guitar.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a question. You've been around the league for a very long time. Nick is a very energetic guy. He seems to always have a bunch of ideas. He's playing the piano. He's writing books. Who are other energetic folks that you've been around? Like, this person's got a motor.
Question.
Who comes? Are there any coaches or players who are playing more than just video games?
Players that I think of.
Or coaches too. They're just like interesting
Did
folks.
you ever have a coach like that?
I think all coaches. Well, I had Lenny Wilkins. He was an older guy.
Yeah.
But the energy wasn't there, but he's more relaxed, right?
Okay.
And he's more relaxed. And then Butch Carter here.
Yeah.
He was an energy guy. He was an energy guy. Really, like the X's and O's. Always like he would take Vince and Tracy and work them out and stuff like that. Kevin O'Neal was energetic. I think for different reasons.
What was he into?
Just
What were his interests?
Hey,
A lot of Diet Coke. He drank a lot of Diet Coke on the sidelines, I remember.
On the sidelines.
I'll digress. But he was an energy guy. But a few players, like a lot of players, Allen Iverson was an energy guy. But I had a close friend of mine, Katino Mobley, who played,
He
in
still looks
Houston.
good. I've seen some off-season stuff
Oh
lately.
yeah, man.
He's another retired guy like you who's like jacked.
Well, I'm not Jack, but yeah, I think
yeah,
I appreciate it.
if-
But he's a
trim.
guy. Even when we were kids, we grew up together, and he was like a guy that was always like Cat, chill out, man. Like everything, conversation, working out, whatever. So I've been around some energy guys, but those are three guys around the coaches here in Toronto that was good.
What about you guys? Can you guys play basketball?
Oh yeah.
Are you good?
No, I'm like I played on a C-level basketball team in high school. I like to call my like very low, but I got a lot of shots.
Is that a high school team?
Yeah, I played on my high school team.
So help me out with C level. What's
Yeah.
C
Well,
level?
that's
Let's see that.
there's like A division, B division, C division.
No, I don't. I'm from Philadelphia, so we don't. Is that varsity JV?
It's not the most official. He just
Yeah.
made it up, to be completely honest. He doesn't know what sea level means.
The
Now you
team
put him on the
wasn't good,
spot.
Okay, the team sucked. But I did get a lot of shots. I pride myself on being a shoot first, no defense, no rebound kind of player.
Okay.
Yeah, but I will say I did.
Classic lead singer.
I played on a 3-on-3 tournament this year. Jamal McGlure was my coach. 7 for 7. I blocked a couple shots. It was a co-ed game, and they're small little women that I was stuffing. But yeah, and I made a TikTok about it, so I will send it to you.
Please send it to me.
Hold on.
I was very impressed.
I gotta
Raptors
say
might
this.
sign you up.
I got to say this because I know he won't bring it up himself, but Randy, Max, whether he can play or not, I know that basketball, it is in the blood for him. And I was privileged enough this summer, along with Matt Devlin and Paul Jones and a whole bunch of others, to be in Hamilton, Ontario for Max and his bandmates. They refurbished, renovated, built a court in Hamilton and unveiled it. And Arkells were all there, a bunch of the bandmates and everything else. So even if he can't play or even he can play, it's in his blood.
Yeah.
And basketball is important to him in terms of what he's done for the game.
I wasn't invited.
It was a charity game, and Eric, I also played in the game. You don't remember? That's fine.
I was trying to not bring it up. I was trying to not bring it up.
I know. I ran up and down the court. No one passed me the ball. I'm a shooter, Alvin. That's what I do.
You're a shooter.
I'm a shooter, and I
So
try to play.
Somebody got to pass you the ball.
Oh, I'm going to put it up.
In order for you to do what you do, you have to have the ball.
Someone's got to give me the rock.
That's what I'm saying. That's why you should have invited Sherman there.
Sea level?
I was more like an F level, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's why they didn't pass you the ball.
But I will say this. Okay, so I think one of the reasons why I get along with Nick Nurse, and he's a pal, is that he's an enthusiastic guy, likes taking chances. So in grade 7, I had to do a project on somebody in the community that had a job I liked. I grew up in downtown Toronto. So I opened the phone book and I looked up the Toronto Raptors front office. This was 1999.
Wow.
And I said, can I please speak to Glenn Grunwald, who was the general manager of the team at the time? And they're like, okay. They put me right through. And then I did a project on Glenn, and Glenn and I have been friends since then. And he, of course, went on to work with the Knicks, Team Canada basketball at McMaster University.
It's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah, and he gave me a tour of the brand new Air Canada Center in 1999 for my birthday. And so, yeah, being around basketball is very cool. And the fact that I was actually just texting with Michael Bartlett tonight, who's the CEO of Canada Basketball, and I was like, I hate Dylan Brooks. I hate that man so much, but I love Dylan Brooks if he's playing for Team Canada Basketball.
He's a guy you love to hate.
Yeah. Or I would just love to love if he's playing for Team Canada Basketball.
Yeah.
So,
Do you remember Alvin when he played?
Of
Are you
course, I have
old
your
enough to
autograph on
remember
that
that?
Really?
yeah, on a Raptors hat.
Wow,
Yeah.
man.
You're the
Boogie
one.
Williams, we all remember.
50 years old. That makes me even older.
You're not
man.
50. You're not
Almost.
50. Come on,
Almost,
man.
almost.
Say that when you're 50. Don't say it now when you're not 50.
Okay, I
Preparing myself.
have another question for you. Okay, because watching Dylan
Shoot it.
Brooks tonight, driving me.
Say shoot?
Yeah,
Shoot it. Let me
Hit
see.
that, Mike. No, hit that.
shoot it.
Oh.
Pretty good.
Almost.
So everybody
Okay,
else made it so
He's
far.
driving me
except for you.
crazy. Who did you play against that had that kind of energy?
Man, you already asked me about the
No,
energy thing.
like a crazy, like when guys on defense, he's talking a lot of smack.
So let me help you out. You might think I was very good or whatever, and you might not.
No, I thought you were very good.
I didn't have a defensive player, like I wasn't somebody's assignment.
Okay.
So like you wouldn't get jacked up to guard me. Like Vince Carter, like you would see a Dylan Brooks or somebody have to guard Vince and stuff like that. So somebody like Dylan, I didn't have to play against a defender like.
No one's just doing this all
Yeah,
game.
no, I didn't have to. But Vince and those elite players, that's their assignment to guard them, take them out the game, however, mentally or whatever. Those are those type of players. So I never had to face that.
But you must know them. Which ones?
Bruce Bowen.
Oh, yeah.
He was a guy.
Bruce is notorious, though, for putting a foot under guys that go up for a three-point shot.
I won't give Bruce that, but that's true. I won't give, but he's somebody, right? He'll do whatever he needed to do, and he didn't care
That's
about.
how he got paid.
He wasn't trying to be friendly with people.
No.
You know, he came from some place where he came from places where he played multiple teams internationally. Like he had to grind, so he wasn't going to let anyone take his spot. He did whatever he needed to do to keep his spot. But Bruce Bowen was somebody like that, was very annoying. But Bruce Bowen, to me, on ball, he wasn't great. Off ball, he was really good to chase people. But Bruce Bowen was somebody that comes to my mind. But Dylan Brooks, I take my hat off to that guy
I know,
because
he was amazing tonight.
he what he does is he takes pride in it.
Yeah.
And you don't see a lot of people in today's NBA take pride in defense. It's all about scoring, spacing the floor.
I got a question for the table, because we were watching the game tonight, Max and I were there, and it was fascinating watching the way that Dylan guarded Pascal. He was being very aggressive with Pascal, he was being very sort of demonstrative. And I was thinking, okay, if I'm Pascal, like, how do I match this energy? Do I stay quiet and just play my game, or do I have to go back at him? And we saw at the end there, it kind of flared up a bit, right? I guess my question would be, as a former player, what do you do when someone's antagonizing you in that way? Do you match energy, or do you try and keep your calm?
Punch him in the mouth.
So once again,
Randy
I didn't have to face that in NBA.
Yeah.
But that's like schoolyard.
Yeah.
In the schoolyard, you're normally better than. But in Sherman, like, you guys can answer.
Do you hit the bully back?
Yeah, no, but in the NBA, in that level, you can't do that. So you have to trust your work. You have to trust your skill level to go about it. It turns into a mental game.
I agree. And I think with Dylan, because he puts his chest on you, that's how you take away some of Pascal's speed, because Pascal's so quick. So Dylan used his advantage And Pascal needed to navigate that by continue to play angles and be as quick as he could. But again, in a game where, you really don't have much answers for a team like Memphis when you're depleted like this, it was a struggle, and you could see that Dillon's confidence was going through the roof, and Pascal was trying to fight it, but he couldn't get to that level. And that happens on some nights in the NBA, right?
Do you think that becomes part of Pascal's maturation process? That
Yeah,
he
he's
has
got
to
to learn
match
from
that?
it. Yeah, he's got to learn from it and figure out a way to navigate that. He's a leader. He's required to do so much for this team. So your leader can't be taken out by the best defender. Your leader has to find a way to navigate that and still make his team better. So Pascal is great at taking that next step, as we've all seen this year.
Yeah.
I expect him to learn from that and come back better.
And Brooks was trying to plant that seed from the get-go too, right? Opening 3 of the game, he was signaling, he was mugging to the crowd. First 3 ball that he hit in the second half, he was mean mugging the Raptor bench. Like he was needling them all night, just trying to plant that seed.
And it'll get easier for Pascal if a Fred VanVleet was there,
Yes.
right? Somebody else to take some of the pressure, alleviate some of that pressure. But, when you're constantly fighting another force, right, and it's not much you can do, then it's going to be that one-on-one battle. And Dillon Brooks, and the thing also about it, Dillon Brooks has 2 monsters behind him. So he can crowd up, he can do.
Yeah,
They got
he's not the
Steve
star of the
Adams,
team.
and I got Jaren Jackson. So if you get past me, I got people contesting. So it's just a tough matchup.
And then
But
the other thing is schematically, get him off of Pascal. Yeah. Right? Get him into situations where he's got to be switched on to somebody else, where Pascal doesn't have to grind it out every possession against a guy like Dillon Brooks.
And the best offensive players, I won't say the best, we've seen Michael Jordan, we see Kobe and all those guys, but if you look at someone like Steph Curry, you can't do that to Steph Curry because he'll dribble, but then he'll pass, and then he'll just run around.
He'll cut. He's always pass cut.
So
pass
he'll move.
cut.
So now that makes a defender who's guarding him, I can't just work on my on-ball defense. I got to be off the ball. I got to be in passing lanes. I got to deny. I got to do. So that's evolving as an offensive player.
Yeah, that's great stuff. Do you guys have anything to promote as we close the show?
I freestyle.
I came.
Feature on a track?
Okay, Alvin Williams featuring Arkells.
Well,
I like it.
there was a legendary freestyle battle, was there not, Al? You've told that story before.
Who's your
or not?
favorite
I know you
rapper of
told
all
it to
time?
me.
Favorite rapper of all time?
Meek Mill? You a Meek guy?
I love Meek.
Yeah.
Jay-Z's my favorite of all time.
Oh!
Yeah, that's my favorite of all time.
You freestyled against Kobe Bryant?
I didn't freestyle. He freestyled against me.
Who?
Kobe.
Really?
Yeah.
Was he good?
Pretty
Okay,
good.
So
who's the
you
best
just
NBA
stopped, you
freestyler?
didn't-
Dame?
Is there footage of this?
Yeah.
No, it's not footage.
So hold on, Kobe freestyle, and then you just were like,
No, it was All-Star 1998. My rookie, he was in the All-Star game. I was in a rookie game, and bumped into him in New York. And we're on the streets of New York, and I see him. I said, "Hey, what you about to do?" That's my youngin. This is my young buck from home. He's like, I'm going up to my room, and I'm gonna rap until my voice gets hoarse.
Kobe said this?
Yeah. So I just started laughing, like rapping, like whatever. So he's like, "You don't think I can rap?" Hell no, you can't rap. So he taps his boy. I don't know who the heck it is.
He's like, give me a beat.
That's exactly what he did. That's exactly what it is. He's like, give me a, he don't think I can rap.
Just as a guy on
Give me a
hand,
beat.
for that occasion, hit it.
This dude start beatboxing and rapping. I turn and look. So when he finished, everybody's like, "Oh!" I turn around. There's 200 people around New York City. I'm sitting, and everyone's thinking I'm a rap. I'm like, "Taxi, please." Get in the taxi. Nah, but Kobe, that's my man. That's my man.
That's amazing. Who's the best rapper in the league right now? Would you know?
Dame Dollar.
Dame's cool.
Dame Dollar has to be.
Yeah.
I haven't heard many people, and I don't really listen to rap, like new rap and all that stuff now.
More of a
but-
Shaq guy.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Shaq was dope when he
Yeah,
came
he was.
out, though. I'm not gonna front on Shaq, but Dame Dollar is like he really puts his heart into music.
Didn't AI have an album too?
We won't talk about that one.
No?
David Stern had something to do about that.
Interesting. Okay.
But AI should be happy it didn't come out, from my understanding.
Was he saying some crazy stuff?
Eh, not for back then. Now, it probably wouldn't be received that well. But hey, who knows? Who knows? Bubba Chuck. Shout out, Chuck.
So wait, is this like real food? Are we gonna eat this?
No,
or
you
is
guys
like-
can. You guys can be eating the whole time. I'm not sure why anybody is
All right.
not. No.
Well, Randy, before
You already
we go,
got your cups.
can I get one more shot at this thing? I mean,
Yeah.
you told me I'm the only guy that didn't
Oh,
hit
we
it.
need the ball.
Where's that ball? Hit me with that ball.
You're not. Yeah.
Here we go.
Here we go. This one's happening for sure.
Boom!
Oh.
Now you done messed up the food. The ball on the pepperoni.
All right, should we give
One
Max
more,
a shot? before we
one
go?
more.
Let's give Max a shot.
One more.
Pizza off limits.
Come on, Max, you got this.
Let me know what.
Hit it. You're good.
Sea level.
Oh,
All right, mine was.
oh.
Come on, guys.
Mine was closer.
At least you hit the rim.
Thank you, Randy.
Yeah, wait. Tell us about the podcast
Oh yeah,
again,
the podcast.
real quick.
The podcast called The Best Hang.
Yeah, we actually just interviewed Tim Bontemps today, ESPN writer.
Oh, yeah,
And,
that's great.
Yeah, it's most of what we do in our free time is just listen to basketball-related content. Seriously, we're on the NBA Reddit page. We're following all you folks on Twitter. Yeah, so that's really how we spend most of our free. That's our comfort blankie. You know, when you're stressed out at a long day, you're thinking about music or your job. The thing that makes me feel good is listening to a basketball podcast or going on YouTube, watching the Raptors content. So we appreciate everything you guys do.
So, The Best Hang podcast, and thanks for having us. Because truly, like Max said, like we are huge NBA fans, and we watch all of you guys. We listen to you guys, and you know we're buds. So I won't. But thanks for having us on your show. Like truly, it means a lot. 'Cause
I
we love
appreciate
it.
you guys coming on. That's amazing stuff.
Thanks, you guys. Likewise. Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
All right.
Max just can keep going. Unless you
I'll
cut him
just
off.
close the show. But you get, no, you go. You keep going. I'll close the show. Next game for the Raptors Friday night against the Phoenix Suns, 7:30 p.m. Eastern is the tip. Come by Real Sports and watch the show live. We'll take your questions and your comments. And thank you for watching. See you next time. Go ahead.